Al from Hellmaidens.com. I'm here with Rob and Shelly DeWolf at Dynamite Graphics here in Silver Spring, Maryland. Now these guys are gracious enough to let us come down here today, get an interview with them. And they're actually making the shirts. They're making our Hellmaiden shirts and the specialty shirts for Shredfest 2 that we're doing at Rams Head Live. This Dynamite Graphics is one of our sponsors, and they make these things up for us. So you got sponsors on the back, Shredfest on the front. Alright, so you guys want to give us a 5-cent tour?
Sure.
Shelly. This is very impressive, I have to say. So your embroidery, you've got 4 machines going. You can do the same design?
Yep.
On 4 shirts at a time?
Yes. Rob will fix a thread break and then you can see how it runs.
Nice. So basically, as this thing's running, if a thread breaks, and that's where you get your red flashing light, it tells you that that machine is having issues. Wow.
It auto detects it. It tells you when you've got a thread break or when your bobbin runs out.
Gotcha. Alright, so now we're heading back into the bowels of Dynamite Graphics. So this is where you do all the silk screening back here.
Where all the magic happens.
Nice.
This is it. These are our machines. This one is how we do the Hellmaiden stuff so well. We're able to do it a little bit differently. Make sure that we get done and make sure all of our halftones look good. It's manual, it's slow. There's a guy just like me who's sitting here and actually print these shirts for you. This one behind you does everything a lot faster. Not quite as much.
This is automated, right?
It is. This is automated. All we do here is put the shirts on, take the shirts off.
Do you prefer manual or automated, or?
I'm getting old. I like the automatic.
You like the automatic?
I just load it and unload it.
Nice.
It's done. This one, it's more artistic. You can do a lot more with it. You can change pressures. You can do stuff on the fly. If one shirt's not looking right, I can fix it. I can make it look good. Here, by the time you notice that this thing has 8 shirts on it before I even know what's happening. So
it's already done.
You're already done. You're like, man, I'm gonna run a 36. 8 shirts in, it's not a good idea. I'm running 8,000, no big deal. Over here, I can look at each shirt individually. The press operator can look at everything as it's happening, as it's going on.
That's pretty amazing.
Awesome. We can really keep a good eye on the control of the product, make sure the quality stays where we like, where it stays for 20-something years now.
Well, see, when I first called you about making our Hellmaiden shirts, I thought that they could only be computer printed because they were grading design. And, you know, I even said to you, I was like, you know, I've got something with a gradient design, and the first thing you said to me was there's no design you can throw me that's going to scare me. And that you even had the gradient running up through the letters was just impressive as hell. Who the fuck has ever heard of Hellmaidens.com? You know? Seriously. And, you know, what I liked about our shirts, too, is that they don't have that thick feel. You know, it doesn't feel like the ink is, you know, a half-inch thick on it. You know, it's great color, great design. You know, but they don't feel, you know, like the shirts that it feels like it's gonna break. You know, crack.
So we do a lot of things a little differently, little tricks of the trade. We try to avoid that. Right? We try to make sure we keep it as soft as possible and still get it as bright as we can. A lot of people will just go and hit it once. You'll see it's real faded, so you get like, you know, your design is a lot of gold, and you get this really old gold that's nasty. We try to do a gold that's really bright, but also isn't too much thick, like a bulletproof T-shirt. You know, we try to do stuff a little bit different, make it a little bit better. So, a couple things we do.
Well, you want to do a couple shirts for us, so we can get a good idea of what you're doing? Now this is a drying machine here, right?
Yeah. This is our dryer. Everything that you see here, if you look at our inks, they're all open. Ink will not dry until it reaches somewhere in the neighborhood of about 500 degrees.
Wow.
So this dryer, right now this dryer's got it, we're set at 600 degrees. But you know, with the ambient temperature and everything, it changes, and so I tend to run a little bit hotter.
Gotcha.
So we want to make sure that ink, when it's actually on the shirt, comes off the other side, is at least 350 degrees when it's coming out of the back of the dryer.
So if it's not hot enough, then it's going to peel.
Yep. If you ever had those shirts that actually start to crack apart,
yeah,
that's why. The ink isn't dry.
Okay.
It may be on the top, so you're like feeling it, it's wet, But ink is really that thick, magnified. So the top is dry, but the bottom isn't. So what you're getting is a lot of white ink. Just do one real quick.
Okay.
So we'll show you what goes into it.
Which one are we doing? Are we doing Hell Maidens or are we doing Shred Fest?
Shred Fest.
Shred Fest, nice.
We've got it set up. I was ready for you guys to put that in. Tied in with this weekend's event a little bit.
Yeah, well, I got a sneak peek of one that you finished over there. It looks really good. Really good. And then basically, like you said, because the ink doesn't dry, the ink can stay there in the press all day.
Absolutely. Like I said, every one of those is open.
Right.
Tell them what you're doing now. Flash.
I'm flashing it. So when I tell you you can't dry it, I'm lying. I just dried it. So if you touch this, it's dry.
Okay.
Basically, imagine if you go into a black room, you want to paint it white.
Right.
You gotta let that stuff dry. You can't just do it and then expect that it's going to come out perfect.
Oh, so you do this in stages then? You
Absolutely.
do it once, get it a little dry.
Absolutely.
Do it again.
This is what a lot of people will give you and say, hey, we're ready to go.
Right.
We don't do that. It's called flashing. We want to make sure this image is as bright as we can get it.
And then it goes in the dryer after that.
And we're actually going to go a little bit further. So that's a whole lot brighter than it was just a minute ago.
Yes, yes, twice as bright.
Then what we're going to do is we're going to add that red to it so we can get the letters to pop out. Get that nice halftone. That fade that you guys are worried about with Hell Maidens.
Is this thing automatic or are you stepping on the pedal?
I step on it.
Okay, that's what I thought.
It's magic. I told you.
It is magic. You do all the magic.
So there she is. That's it.
That's sweet.
Still wet though.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So we're going to throw this guy through here. And
Presto Chango.
when it comes out the back, she'll be ready to go.
Now with these Shred Fest shirts, you're actually doing double sides.
We are.
Because you're listing the sponsors on the back, which you guys are one of our sponsors for this. And excellent, you're right up top.
I'm proud to be a sponsor.
Well, some of these sponsors we've been working with, and you know, we worked with all along, and they just, a lot of them they're really good people. They provide, you know, great services for us. With us, it's not always about money, you know, it's about, you know, we can do for each other. And see, that's what, you know, I've always believed that, you know, is that
I agree.
the barter system works better. You know, I mean, there are times, you know, you're a business, you have to make money. But any time you can trade goods for goods or services for services, that's always a big plus.
Absolutely.
You know? Very impressive, though. Again, the way that you can get that gradient, I just didn't think that was possible.
Well, you notice we took your gradient out of here.
Right.
There's no way it was going to work that size.
Oh, not for that small. No.
So I did that on purpose and said, you know what, we're going to give it the best shot of looking good and recognizing your logo.
Single color for the back. I noticed there's a couple different sizes on these.
There is. We actually have, other than you guys, we have a couple of different jobs set up on this press. So each one really depends on what you're doing. You can take a different size palette. Give an example. We're getting ready to do shorts. And shorts is an entirely different palette. With this, it's a little bit smaller image. It fits better on a smaller palette. A little easier to use to make sure. Make sure again I have control over it. We're going to get the best possible result we can.
Gotcha. Generally twice is
for darks, yeah, then that helps this thing to pop out. Because then I know this is exactly how I like it. I can hit it twice, I can hit it once, I can flash and do numerous of the t-shirt things out there.
Now Bob, you've been doing this for almost 30 years.
That's true.
And Shelly's been doing this for, how long have you been doing this, Shelly?
15 years.
Wow, for 15?
Yep.
Now how long have you two been together?
15. Married 10 next week.
Nice.
We've been dating, we've been together close to 15 years, so
wow.
Working together the whole time.
And you jumped right in.
Yeah, it didn't take long.
It's amazing though to have a husband and wife who can work together for that many years and live together and not drive each other crazy.
We didn't say we didn't drive each other crazy. We did live together and work together though.
Right.
Those two we do well.
Nice.
Nice. Now we're very hopeful that we'll make it to our 10-year anniversary next week. All signs point to yes.
Yeah,
6 more days.
Next week at least, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's great. So have you always been at this shop, or?
No, Rob actually, he works for another company based out of Kensington when he started his career. He had been there a few years before I was there, and he actually brought me on to help, and so I started working there. He had been there about 13 years, and I had been there 7, and not too long after we got married, we left and decided it was time to start up our own company. So that's
always in this building?
No, we started very humbly. Like many of screen printers, you know, we had been in a larger shop, but once it's time to start over, where do you go? And like a lot of screen printers, we worked out of our house, out of our garage for a couple of years, just starting, you know, getting things ramped up, and just about the time we were looking for retail space, we noticed that the former owners of Dynamite Graphics were looking to sell, looking to retire and get out of the business. So we thought it was a good fit for us. We were looking for a space. They had an existing company, you know, in the spot, and so we took over Dynamite Graphics back in 2006 and been here ever since.
That's sweet. Now, is a lot of the gear already here?
Most everything. Yes and no.
Yeah.
There was a lot of gear here. Most of it needed to be replaced.
Gotcha. Okay.
That's new.
Right.
We are one of the few companies that have a direct garment printer using DG technology. We have that, which is really nice. That's new. That wasn't here.
The embroidery machine was new.
The embroidery machine, they had one. We got rid of it very quickly after being in here.
We
have a new one.
The old machine wasn't up
Yeah,
to
we
par.
like to sort of stay up with the technology, get machines that are out there that are going to last us, and do some of the cooler, newer things. Give us new ideas, new stuff we can do.
Excellent.
Yeah, for us, we knew what we were getting into when we got here, and you know, we saw that we're getting a lease on a building. You can get that anywhere you want, and we're getting some equipment that was going to need to be replaced. But you know, they had been in business when we took over around 22 years, and they had a dedicated, loyal client base.
Oh, sweet! So you picked up some of their clients as well.
And that's what we were interested in.
Yeah, jumping in, because most businesses, you start a business, the first year you know you're taking a loss.
Yeah.
You know, the second year you might break even, you know, and then by the third year you're turning a profit.
Right.
But no, if you already got established clients.
Yeah, well, we did it on purpose because we knew as a husband-wife team, it's that much riskier as a startup business than a lot of other companies, a lot of other businesses. So we knew for both of us to be doing this full-time and making a salary, we needed a company that was producing revenue from day one.
Go us to the other drum head. I did one. I can tell you there's probably not many other people in the area that will do one shirt. There's a bunch of other people. One of the other companies in Baltimore that's rather large. Their machine costs a whole lot more than ours, and you can't do what we can do.
Before we had the direct-to-garment machine, we didn't even like selling people that stuff because, you know, we believe in educating people, telling them like, look, this is not the same product, you know, it doesn't hold up through the washes and wears, and it's like, we don't, you know, I don't want to get a call that says I'm not happy with my stuff, and that's the reputation you have. And
one of the big differences, it doesn't look the same when it's first done. Like I can show you a couple that I did just on white shirts. The blacks aren't as black, it's not as deep, it's not as dark. However, you don't have that big chunky feel of ink on your shirt, so it's sort of a give and take. You know, it's a water-based product where most people are accustomed to is plastic and plastic. Which is why it's thick. I like yours, you've got plastic. You know, that's what it is.
Yeah, because I mean, you can feel this, this Mike Neff shirt, and I've noticed, like, especially during summertime, very hot days, if you're wearing a shirt, especially if it has like the big square on the front, and even worse on the back, you know, and your back sweats so bad, you know. And
one of our favorites right now is the guys that do runs, and they want moisture wicking shirts, and they go and print a huge image on the back. It's great, the shirt's moisture wicking, but that image isn't.
Exactly.
And then you see them run down the road, and they got the big sweat stains around it. It's like, guys, we tried to tell you. Everybody listens to the t-shirt.
No.